Okay. Now let's talk about expenses because this is pretty important. I want to talk about the expenses. Some of them are going to happen, but we need to all be aware of them. Number one is ignorance, right? Thinking everything for us business owners that have had success in some areas, especially thinking that everything is easy and successful as the things we know and do very, very well. Like we can't lose. That is the one mystery of success that every entrepreneur will experience at some point in time where they figure out that everything is not as easy as the success they had on their first love. Okay, so be aware of that. Ignorance is the largest expense that most investors will ever have, right? Number two is taxes. And you ask somebody, what is the largest expense that you're ever going to have? Taxes usually is the first thing. It is ignorance, but taxes is a close second. So reducing, as we've already talked about, reducing tax drag is a big income stream, guys. Huge, huge. You hear it on the news or you hear it from time to time, and it's probably close to true that Grant Cardone and Donald Trump don't pay any taxes, but they do it through legitimate tax programs that are put in place for investors to invest in real estate. We're incentivized to do that. And this isn't a class on that, but between 1031 exchanges and accelerated depreciation, there's so many different things you can do that ends up as a paper loss or no gain at all when it's a 1031 that allows you to continue to compound and build your wealth tax free. And that, when you're talking about the compounding effect, especially for those of us that don't have a ton of runway left, you've got to know how to keep those taxes under control so that you get the compounding effect of the rest of your wealth. That is so, so important. People's vitality number being too large is the next largest expense. What does that mean? Live within your values, not your vanity. Right? Your cost of living, keeping an eye on everything that you buy and knowing the condition of your house is what I call it, right? Just knowing, hey, that's where, hey, it come the 6th month of the year, how are we doing on that vitality number that we sat down and figured out what our monthly nut should be? How are we doing on that monthly number? Are we past it? Or if we're past it, it's okay, but you should know that you're past it and keep it in mind, right? And then the next expense, number 4, is fee drag, right? We really need to be aware of what our advisors, whether it's a tax advisor, whether it's a wealth advisor, an estate planning advisor, a coach, all of our advisors, what are they costing us? And making sure that the value that we're paying for is there. Here's a little trick that's very important to me, and I'm going to share it with you. Many in the community have already heard it before, and that is this. If you don't have a Zoom account, you need a Zoom account. Or a Fireflies account. Nowadays, I have both, okay? And the reason why is when I'm on the phone tomorrow or on the Zoom meeting tomorrow with my CPA, it will be on my Zoom account. Now, all of your professionals will send you a Zoom link or a Teams link or a Google Meet link or some sort of a link. Could be many different platforms that they send a link to. I decline theirs and I send mine. And the reason why is I want to record it and I want to control that recording. If I'm paying somebody $250 to $400 per hour, you bet I want to be able to review that. And it gets tagged and saved in the appropriate folder underneath that advisor, and it's timestamped, so it's easy to find and easy to access. And Fireflies, my virtual assistant, goes in and she finds all the meetings and she has them in folders in Fireflies. And I do turn on the video option. So even though when my Fireflies is in a meeting, it doesn't tell people they're being recorded. I tell people, but it doesn't. It's not like I know some of them. The AI tool announces that it's being recorded. Mine just does it, and it also gives me the transcription. So, and for those of you that don't know, it's the new thing. If I'm in an asset management meeting with a property management company and I 3 months later want to see if we talked about plumbing, I go into that meeting and I just type in the search bar plumbing and it pulls up the words plumbing and it brings me right to that part of the meeting, which I don't get on a Zoom recording. So there is a difference, and that's why I have both. But back to the point, record every single professionals meeting, even if it's a free consultation. You will need to refer to it back at some point in time. So fee drag is our next expense. And then the last one, and now it's more important than ever, right, is keep in mind as we figure out our vitality number that the cost of living is going to go up. The cost of medical is going to go up. The cost of everything is going to go up Add a 10% factor in there for yourself, just as a buffer, based upon us knowing that things aren't getting cheaper, right?